From LEX 18, your official UK sports station for Big Blue Nation, this is BBN Tonight. Presented by Central Bank, the official bank of UK Athletics.
Hello and welcome to BBN Tonight. I'm Maggie Davis, in once again for Anna Tarullo.
And I'm Keith Farmer. Tonight, an update from Liam Cohen on the UK offense as spring football begins to wind down.
Yes, and I'll also have an exclusive interview with Kentucky's tight end group, plus Kentucky volleyball coach Craig Skinner talks about round one of the big dance. But Keith, they say embarrassment is the cost of entry to learning new things, and a brand new pro-style offense is no different.
Yeah.
Everything we're hearing coming out of spring practice is encouraging, but it's practice for a reason. The guys are still working through the playbook. Coach Liam Cohen spoke to the media today, and that's tonight's Big Blue Story presented by Baptist Health. The Cats had their first live scrimmage on Saturday, and by all accounts, it went pretty well. We heard Coach Stoops say how he was pleased with the guys making routine plays look routine. And Wandell Robinson told us the offense could be, quote, really, really good after scoring touchdowns on the first two drives. But after going back and looking at the film, there is still plenty to clean up.
I was just excited to see the guys run around and make plays. You know, just I think every receiver but one caught a pass, and just a lot of guys did some nice things. And it was nice. We kept it pretty simple from a game plan standpoint and just calling plays that we've executed in practice and that they knew. And guys just ran around and made plays. It was fun to watch guys get excited on the sidelines. But, you know, there's always things to clean up, and especially in some of the run game and things like that. You know, it's just a lot of bodies moving around. But we did some nice things overall. I was happy with it.
So overall, Keith, that's encouraging, but obviously a long way to go before Labor Day weekend.
I laugh a little bit when I hear they ran around and made plays. It's almost like they said, just go get open, break. You know?
Run around now.
We know that's not what they're doing, but it is good to hear that they're running around and making plays. Now, right tackle Jeremy Flax also talked this morning. He went the JUCO route out of high school and didn't have a single star next to his name, and he isn't forgetting where he came from.
I think about those times every day, probably every morning when I wake up. Just remembering and going back is good because it keeps me humble. It keeps me wanting to keep going, and it keeps me remembering where I started at and how far I can keep going.
From no stars to looking like he might be a starter in the SEC, Maggie.
And this is what Kentucky football does best. We've talked about it so much over the last couple of years. They have done such a nice job of finding talent that's under-recruited, that isn't getting a lot of national attention, and then developing them. Obviously, Kentucky football is always pushing recruit and develop. Jeremy Flax is just another example of that.
But it's the impressive part of pinpointing that person that maybe somebody else isn't and knowing that they can develop it.
Absolutely.
That's what I like. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now for an update on a story we discussed last week. ESPN has now announced it will carry every round of the NCAA volleyball tournament with commentators. That's a change from what was originally reported last week when several coaches expressed concerns with the tournament setup. UK volleyball coach Craig Skinner reacted to this update on Twitter, writing, quote, progress and great news for our sport. Now that's a lot to deal with, Keith, on top of national championship aspirations, of course, but for this group of seniors, high expectations are the norm.
They've been dealing with that for a few years now. And, you know, it just seems like it's the next chapter. And, you know, is there expectations? Is there pressure? Absolutely. And you know, I think that's, you know, a privilege that, you know, our players have wanted and want to be a part of.
Keith, every time we hear from Craig Skinner or any of these players, they all sound like that, so mature, so focused. I have a good feeling about this tournament.
I think they're worried more about the tournament than they are in ways that's being looked at least for now. I think they want to just get through it. And then if they want to talk about it a little bit more about, you know, how things were set up, they will later. But, you know, Craig Skinner even told us that, you know, hey, one person is doing all they can. They need a little more help in this situation. All right, the honors are rolling in for the volleyball team. Senior setter Madison Lilly has been named the American Volleyball Coaches Association All-Southeast Region Player of the Year. And Craig Skinner is the All-Region Head Coach of the Year. 5 other Wildcats were also named to the AVCA All-Region team, setting a new program record.
Congratulations to all of them. That is awesome. Turning to UK basketball now, College Hoops insider John Rothstein has projected who he believes will be suiting up for the Cats in the fall. Most notably, he has Keon Brooks returning to Lexington and Davion Mintz leaving. In the starting lineup, he has Brooks, Nolan Hickman, Kellen Grady, Damian Collins, and Oscar Shibwe, and then Jacob Toppin, Bryce Hopkins, Dante Allen, and Lance Ware coming off the bench. Keith, It's way too early to do this. I know we talk about this every year. It's way too early, especially with the transfer portal this year. This is ridiculous. We don't need to do this yet.
Transfer portal, we don't know who's going to be at every school. It's crazy. All right, in the NBA, there was a Kentucky reunion last night when Anthony Davis's Lakers came to the Big Apple to play the Knicks, and there was a nice moment between AD, Kenny Payne, and Julius Randle.
Group hug.
Randle went on to score 34 points and pull in 10 boards in the Knicks' victory on the other side of the country. Terrible news, though, for former Cat Jamal Murray, who tore his ACL in the final minute last night in the loss to the Warriors. Good luck to him in his recovery and return.
Hate that. On the softball field now, Kayla Kowalik homered for the 9th time this season. She went 3 for 4 at the plate last night, but still not quite enough to lead Kentucky to a win. The number 10 Cats fell to number 20 Georgia, 5-2 in the rubber match of their 3-game series. The squad split that doubleheader on Sunday, and now UK's next matchup will be tomorrow night at 6 o'clock against EKU in Richmond.
Yeah, still ahead, our exclusive UK football interviews continue, and tonight it's the tight ends' turn.
Yes, I sat down with Justin Rigg, Keaton Upshaw, and Brennan Bates after Saturday's scrimmage. They'll fill us in next on BBN Tonight.